Hello folks, Lee Cole here, and I got my buddy Gloria Gunn on. Gloria, say hello.
Hi, everybody.
And Gloria, do you see that this slide is from like last month? And we have been so incredibly busy that I haven't even had time to change the slide out. But yes, it is February, and yes, you are on the right webinar. And we're going to talk about who we are, where we came from, our vision, what we see, our problem, and our solution. And if that makes sense for you, let us know. And if it doesn't make sense for you, we love you and we're glad you're on this planet. So Gloria, you and I back almost a year ago now, we were talking on the phone or Skype or whatever, and we basically had the same issue, which is that we both run small businesses that depend on us.
Exactly. Yep, wear many hats.
Yeah, exactly. This whole thing, you can read all the books you want to about working on your business instead of in your business, but moving from starting a business or running a small business, hang on folks, I'm going to lean back in my over 100 years old antique chair and it's going to make a noise. Now I'm comfortable. So yeah, I mean, starting a business, it's just you may have a part-time employee, things like that, but there's no way that you're just going to walk away from that and work on the business as opposed to having to deal with customers, as opposed to having, in our case, create products, as opposed to having, in my case, write sales letters and stuff like that. I mean, it is dependent on you, and it's really tough to get it from that size to the size where you can really walk away from it. And I've got really good friends who are, like run medium-sized corporations that they started years ago, and they are working in the business still. So, I'm not knocking the whole work on instead of in. I'm saying it's a wee bit harder than they make it out to be. So, folks, about a year and a half ago, I was wrestling with this idea and, just, feeling like I was kind of bumping up against a glass ceiling. And Gloria and I started talking about it, and I started looking at specific ways of doing the following, creating an asset. So that's really the deal. Creating an asset that's independent of us, of our personalities, of our time commitment per day, per week, per month. So creating an asset that would pay money, that would pay us money. And we did that, and we are doing that. We are heavily involved in doing that, and it is working. Is it like, so guys, this is not one of those you're going to be driving around in a Mercedes in 1 week type deals. If that's, if that's your deal, Gloria, this next thing is going to come out a little harsh. If that's your deal, then you need to go down to the local gas station and buy a lotto ticket and lose your money.
Right.
I mean, seriously. So I know that sounded a little harsh, and it's just a little bit of tough love. But the fact is, if you work at what we're going to tell you about, you will build an asset, and over a reasonable amount of time, that asset will start freeing you from whatever it is you need to be freed from financially, which is your job, your business, whatever. In our case, it's our business, but it could be somebody's job. So let's get going. Lioness. Some of you may have heard of this company. It's also called Lioness. That's two names for the same company. I'll explain to you why it has two names. But this company was started in Austria. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of it a little later. This is a global corporation, and it was brought to my attention last summer, and I immediately picked up the phone and said, Gloria, I think this is it. This is the thing that I think I was pretty excited when I called you. Didn't I?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Because it fit all the things that it needed to fit. It had the income potential. It had the sustainability.
Yes. Okay?
It wasn't like we were doing a bunch of work in a company and then turn around 6 months later, oh, my bad, it's not there anymore. And we both know people who have done that, and that they did all this work, and the income vanished. This is a global corporation, as you will see. And what is really cool about Lycanet, aka Lioness, is it's a company that appeals to businesses, consumers, and marketers. It is at the forefront of a huge economic shift, which I'm going to go into. I know these are big words we got in here. This is These are large promises, but I think you'll agree with me by the time the webinar is over. Yeah, Lee, this is a big economic shift. This is a disruptive technology, and this is a way that perhaps you can create a lifetime income for yourself and your family. Now, I started off by saying Lioness, Liconet, two names for the same company. Why is that? Well, it's because the company has an appeal to two, not opposed, but two large different groups of people. Let me explain. Lioness is more the consumer aspect of the company, and as the consumer aspect of the company, Lioness is a global shopping community. So you buy stuff, and we'll talk all about what you buy, okay? Basically the stuff you're already buying, hint, hint. But you buy stuff, you get money back, cash back with every purchase you make. Gloria, you know, you got me on this working out, getting a fit kick. Did you know I've lost 16 pounds now?
Wow, that's amazing.
So I bought a heart rate monitor because I'm a nerd and I get really scientific about these things. I bought that through Lioness. I got on Lioness. I found the Sports Authority as a Lioness merchant. I ordered my heart rate monitor. I did not pay full freight for it because it was through Lioness. I got shopping points back, which are different from cash back. And it was a pain. I didn't even have to go to the car and drive somewhere, which I particularly hate shopping. So it was a win-win-win for me. So let's take a look at that transaction, guys. I got cash back. In other words, my heart rate monitor cost me less than it would had I gotten my car and gone to the store. I got shopping points back, and those shopping points turn out to be very, very valuable over a longer period of time. And furthermore, Gloria, because I brought you into the company, when you do things like buy your heart rate monitor or your groceries or your gas card, guess who makes a little money out of that?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and that is a sweet thing. And you got people under you, and when they shop, you make money.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it goes 2 tiers up. I make a little bit off of their shopping. So that is Lioness in a nutshell for the consumer. Lioness is a shopping network. The revenue for Lioness is created from people shopping. Now we're going to talk details. I'm just giving you all the big picture. Liconet is more the business builder aspect of Lioness. It is for people like me and Gloria. Now if you're on this webinar, you don't have to be one or the other. Matter of fact, a lot of people start out in Lioness and, you know, they get used to it. They start shopping. They're saving money. They're creating money. They get a few people in on this and they see the income opportunity and they think, man, I'm going to get into Liconet because now this gets back to building the asset. I can build a serious income doing this. So this is really, the Liconet side is really where my heart is, and Gloria, I believe where your heart is. Building a marketing team, which we're doing very successfully. Profiting from people's global shopping. In other words, we're in the United States. They don't have to just be spending money in the United States. Lioness/Liconet is in 46 countries all over the world. They have really cool car bonuses and trips, and it's over time, and I want to stress that. I don't mean like over a really long time, like, 40 years or something stupid like that, but I'm talking about not next week, okay, because I want to get out of the lotto mentality that a lot of people have. Over time, in other words, if you intelligently work at this, not full-time, but if you intelligently work at this part-time for a few years, 2, 3 years, something on that order, you can build a serious income, and that's what we're doing. A little bit more about Lioness. Again, just to sort of cap this off, everybody benefits from this. You get cash back when you buy stuff. You get shopping points, and we're going to see a little example of something that's bought and how many shopping points you get and what those really end up being. And when you refer people into Lioness, as I referred Gloria in, as Gloria's referred other people in, you get money off of their shopping. And what is really, really cool, you would think, Gloria, that the ability to do that should cost some money, wouldn't you? But it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's free to join. That's like a kind of a minor jaw dropper right there, because you get all these benefits, and it's free to join, and it's free to be a member of monthly. So This is one thing when Don Kitterhagen introduced me to Linus. This is one of the big things that got my attention because I've been in companies like this before, and you know how it is. You've got to uh, you've got to get rid of all your cleaning supplies and use their cleaning supplies. And their cleaning things may be superior. Maybe they're more eco-friendly. Maybe it's a superior thing, but it's a little hard to substitute, right? Or you've got to buy something or use some service for something that you never really wanted or never had in your life anyway. And it may be a cool thing. I mean, that may be a good thing for you to do something new and different, right? But like some financial service or some travel service or something like that. But it's a little tough sometimes to tell other people, hey, get in on this cool thing that I'm doing. It's a travel company, and them look at you and say, well, you know, crazy as it sounds, I don't really have time. I'm not much of a traveling person. You know, I'm claustrophobic. I don't like to get into planes, right? So one thing that really caught my attention through Linus was I don't have to change what I buy. I go to CVS. I was there today, okay, getting a little something for me and my daughter before she had to go to this thing. And I bought a Coke and she bought some stuff, and I paid through it with my CVS gift card that I got through Linus. See, I've been going to CVS for years. In case whoever's listening to this doesn't have a CVS in your part of the country, that's a drugstore. So you buy the same cars. You buy, you know, you can buy your groceries. You buy your gas. You can do all the stuff that you normally do. You buy your clothes, for instance. My son and I recently, we're waiting for the weather to get a little better, but we plan on doing a whole lot of hiking this year. So we've got brand new hiking shoes. So you buy that stuff, you run it through Linus, and you pay less, and you create shopping points. And it's really cool that you don't have to buy some maybe superior brand that you've never heard of, but the point is it's a brand you never heard of. You don't have to break your pattern here, right? I thought that was huge when Don told me that. Again, just to wrap that up a little bit, brand name stores, Home Depot. I actually put a new water faucet, new faucet thing. You can tell how good I am at plumbing, right? I'm calling it a faucet thing. I put a new faucet thing in the bathroom. I went to Home Depot and bought, to buy it. Home Depot's Linus merchant. Online shopping. There is a massive amount of online shopping, which I personally prefer because I really hate to, Garfield the cat and how Garfield never goes out of the cul-de-sac. I was telling one of our mutual friends, I said, well, Steve, I just don't really like to go to the cul-de-sac, frankly. Well, it was hilarious. It was, he said, okay, Garfield, you don't have to. He understood exactly what I was talking about. So online shopping is music to my ears. I don't have to fight the traffic. I live in Atlanta, 6 million people. We have horrendous traffic, even at the best of times. I don't have to fight the traffic. I get online, I save money, I create shopping points, my heart rate monitor comes in 2 days, bam, that's cool. Small to medium-sized businesses, it is not just big box stores. This is a big push that Linus is currently doing in the United States, getting more small to medium-sized businesses into Linus. They wanted to get the big box stores in first. They've been here in the United States about 3 years, and they've done a great job of that. But your local businesses, now is a wonderful time to be hitting up those local businesses and bringing this opportunity to them. And they've got this new thing, the Linus Loyalty Mall, which is a place where you can, spend your shopping points and all that stuff. There are other ways to spend shopping points, but that's one way. And like they say, not just shopping, redirecting most of your expenses because, who doesn't want to save money? Gloria, at this point in the webinar, I always use the idea of a certificate of deposit, which has a whopping interest rate right now of, 1.2% or something?
Yeah, something crazy, yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's less than inflation. In other words, you would be smarter to put your money under your mattress and just go buy another shotgun, right? Said like a good old boy from the South, of course, but you will end up with more money in 10 years if you put it under your mattress. You will have more buying power than if you buy a CD. But the thing is, with Linus, the money that you were already spending on stuff, you're making more back than you would if you were investing it in a really, really safe investment. Now, just for compliance purposes, I am not saying Lioness is an investment in anything. It's not. It's a way to shop and save money. But I am pointing out that saving 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, up to 5% is a smart thing to do. You're spending the money anyway. I'm guessing you're putting gas in your car anyway. There's a car repair place, knock on wood, my car is running really great, but something happens to it, I can take it over there. I can run that through Lioness. I can save money all around.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, really cool. We are right now at the beginning of 2015, and we're not really sure when, so I'm not going to, pretend like I know, because I don't know, but sometime this year, Lioness and MasterCard are coming out with a co-branded debit card, and that is going to be really, really cool. That is going to absolutely streamline the shopping process. That card will be useful at anywhere you could use a debit card, and if that merchant happens to be a Lioness merchant, like let's say I've got my Lioness debit card, I go over to Home Depot, I just run that through the machine, I pay for my new, washer for my faucet or whatever it is I'm buying this time. Guess what? I get money back. I get my shopping points. It's all taken care of seamlessly. That is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, this is the first time that MasterCard has ever co-branded a card with any entity other than a bank. So that should tell you something about the viability of Lioness. So just to recap a little bit, because we're covering a ton of stuff, up to 5% cash back. When you buy stuff, you get shopping points and cool shopping deals. Friendship bonus, you refer people in. They buy stuff. You make money off of what they buy. It is really cool when when you become a Lioness member, you get an app on your phone along with a dashboard on your computer and all that stuff. And it's really cool to look on that little app on your phone and say, whoa, I made more money. That is so cool. And with the MasterCard, seamless shopping. Again, free to join, free to be a member of. So this slide shows you a little bit, it kind of puts together the whole shopping experience. And again, we're talking about Lioness, the consumer side of this. We're going to talk about Lioness, the business builder side of this in just a second. But to just sort of wrap Lioness up, you buy the stuff you normally buy. You can go on vacations. You can buy cars, plane flights, all the stuff you normally buy. When you do that, you get up to 5% cash back. That can be sent straight to your bank, or when that MasterCard comes out, popped right back on that MasterCard, and then you create shopping points. And those shopping points, it turns out, are very valuable. Here's an example. This is like a sort of a garden variety, middle of the road example of the kind of thing that you can expect shopping through Lioness. So let's say you spend $150 on purchases from a Lioness merchant, and they're giving 2% cash back, which is pretty middle of the road. Again, it goes up to 5% cash back, but let's figure against ourselves. They just give 2% cash back, and you get 8 shopping points for spending that $150. Let's look at the money and what happens. That $150 times 2%, immediately you get $3 cash back. Well, that's cool because let's say you're buying gas. You got to drive to work anyway. You got to take your kids to soccer anyway. You're going to buy the gas anyway. You might as well pay $147 for it instead of $150. Now, but it gets better because the shopping points are really where you get into the larger money and the real wealth creation aspect of Lioness. People listening to this, if you want more specific information about this, we have the compensation plan on a PDF and we will send that to you. Just reach out to us and we will send that your way. I don't want to really stop the flow here to go into all the details. I am not a compensation guru or anything like that. I looked at it. I thought it made sense. I'll send it to you and you can look at it. And if you have questions, you can ask us. Those 8 shopping points. Each shopping point has a minimum value of $7.50. So from that $150, you created $3 back immediately, and then you created a value of $60 in shopping points, which are redeemable in all kinds of different ways. In other words, you spent $150 and you created $63 of benefits. That is very, very, very cool, the way that works. And there's a lot of potential for making immediate money and for creating lifetime business building wealth. Those shopping points are redeemable in a lot of different ways, and they're constantly adding. This is a rapidly growing company. They're constantly adding more ways that they're redeemable for. You get shopping deals with LionS. You get loyalty merchants, both through the internet and also local loyalty merchants where you can redeem these shopping points. Walk in the store and redeem them, or you can redeem them online. And again, if you want more information, let us know. This graphic kind of sums it up from the LionS/consumer point of view. Here you are. You say, Lee, this is the greatest idea since sliced bread, which is pretty much what I thought when I was introduced to this concept. You go out and you get a friend. You tell a friend about this. You say, hey, just go to this webinar with Lee and Gloria. They'll explain the whole thing to you. And your friend says, man, this is the greatest idea since sliced bread. I'm spending the money anyway. I might as well save some money. And if I refer friends, I'll make money off of them. So your friend gets in on it. Your friend starts shopping. You're making money now. And your friend takes this to other people. That's the purple people. And the same thing. And you are making money off of the yellow friends shopping and the purple friends of the friends shopping. So that friendship bonus goes 2 tiers down. This is a really, really cool idea. This is money that you make from their shopping. And in addition, you have the shopping points. Really cool thing. I mentioned this very briefly. I want to touch on it again. LionS is very interested in pushing into local economies. In Europe, where LionS started, in Austria, and we'll see a little map in a little bit, LionS is very prevalent in the local economy. You're in Austria, you get your phone out, you look for a restaurant, you're going to see a ton of LionS, places that accept LionS, places that are LionS merchants, that it will accept your LionS money near you, within walking distance. Not quite so in the United States yet. Of course, LionS started in Europe almost 12 years ago. They started here in the United States 3 years ago. We've got some catching up to do. And that makes this a golden time for you to get interested in this. LionS is very, very interested in bringing local medium and small size merchants on board. And they have a whole kit for merchants where it's basically a loyalty card system where the loyalty card is actually a LionS card. If you want to know more about that, again, hit us up. I don't want to really stop the webinar too much to explain that, but if you want to know more about that, that is a really cool system, and either Gloria and or I will be happy to talk to you about it. Another thing, it is so important in the global economy that we live in to be a good corporate citizen. LionS has a very, very active Child and Family Foundation, and also yours truly is an Eagle Scout. So taking care of the environment is a big thing to me. That wasn't the deciding factor, but I sure liked it when I saw it. Highlights about LionS. Here's the founder of LionS, Hubert Friedl. Founded this in Austria in 2003. We're currently 2015, so we're looking at about 12 years. They're in really 46 countries because they just opened up Mexico a few months ago. And you can use your LionS benefits in so many places. 250,000 points of acceptance, all of these products and services, billions of dollars in sales, and it's really cool because it's free to join and free to be a member of monthly. And it's a major corporation. It's not just some little company that just started and said, hey, let's do this, and then you work real hard and then they fold, and that happens. These are LionS's corporate offices in the Americas. New York, Miami, California, Vancouver, Toronto, and the new corporate office in Mexico. That's LionS from the consumer's point of view, up to 5% cash back. 0.5% friendship bonus. These are people that you bring into this. Again, you make money off of their shopping, and that is a cool thing to do if you just want to do that. We've got people on my team who just want to do that. If you just want to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. That is really, really cool. Who doesn't need, you save 3, 4, 5% on what you spend for the rest of your life, that will actually turn out to be a lot of money. But again, it gets better, because if you really get the vision that Gloria and I saw when we were introduced to this, you think, well, Saving money is cool and making a little money is cool considering that you're already doing the shopping anyway. But the income potential, huge income potential for people who are interested in, and I don't mean working full-time. Gloria, you know, you and I both do this part-time, right? Because we run other businesses.
That's right.
But we are intelligently building out an asset for ourselves and our families. You have up to career income up to $75,000 per month, plus a really cool car bonus. Just talked about money. Here's the income disclosure statement. I believe this one's from 2013. Again, it's a little hard to see, and I don't want to bore everybody to death talking about numbers, although I'm happy to. I used to teach mathematics. But we'll be happy to send you a PDF copy of this if you're interested. Let us know. The car bonus. I love the car bonus, and I know exactly which car Gloria is going to get because we talk about it like all the time, that Tesla.
That's right.
But, you know, unlike a lot of companies, and this, again, this was not a deciding factor. I didn't even know. I knew it had a car bonus. I didn't know it was such an extensive car bonus. But let me point out a couple of things. Most companies like this, you get like one car, BMW, right? Or Mercedes or Lexus or something like that. You can choose from 5 different car manufacturers. The only issue is it has to be over a certain amount per month payment for the car, which is kind of cool. And in other words, you can spend a minimum of $750 a month to $4,500 a month for a car, right? The car bonuses start at career rank 4, and we'll look at that in a minute. And you can choose from all these makes: Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, BMW, and Audi. One thing let me just drop this in here real fast. One thing I really liked was the car bonus can go to not only lease the car as it does with a lot of companies, but it can go to purchase the car. And I like that because I am almost to a fault. What?
Debt averse. Yeah.
Oh my God. Debt gives me hives. I really don't mind somebody leasing a car for me as long as I'm not responsible for it. You know, as long as I can take it back and say, here are the keys. You know, right? I don't mind somebody leasing my ride for me. But debt. I don't have debt. It makes me really nervous. So I like the idea of somebody paying for my car and me ending up with the car without a car loan.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'll just drive that car forever and get them to pay for a new one and give it to one of my kids. Liconet, Linus shopping benefit, and Liconet, Linus is kind of like the consumer side, as I've said this, and I'm repeating myself some because we are throwing a ton of information out at you guys. Linus, the consumer shopping side. Liconet is for marketers. And when I say the word marketer, Gloria, we don't mean like totally well-established ninja marketer. We just mean somebody who's willing to learn how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could be totally new, fresh out of the box, never having done something like this before. It is easy to present this concept to other people. So that's what we mean, just somebody who has the vision and says, yeah, I think I want a little more out of this other than saving money and making a little money off my friends. I want to build a serious income. I want to create my job. I want to retire my husband. I want to have freedom in my life that I've never had. We've seen the future. This is a really cool map. Austria 2003, Europe now. In Austria in 2003, when Hubert Friedel came up with this concept, there were 3 initial businesses. Those 3 dots are one business. Now these dots over here, this is a screenshot from the interactive map on the website. Each of those dots over here is not one business. As you get more granular, you know, what you can, it's an interactive map. If you get closer to that, I mean, that dot could be 150 or 200 businesses, or we'll probably just break out into a bunch of dots, and each of those dots is like 100 businesses. In other words, Linus has coded Europe, and you can see it. Spain, France, Germany, okay, Eastern Europe. They've coded Europe. This is where they started, and it was only 12 years ago. That is amazing to me. I was alive 12 years ago, and I'm alive now. And they did this. And this is amazing to me to see the growth of this concept. Because, I'm going to show you the next slide. Well, okay. It's the next slide after this. The thing about Europe is Lioness has done what I call, it has entered consumer consciousness. You see Lioness consumer branding advertisement everywhere. You don't in the United States. So people, you can look at that as a glass is half full or glass is half empty kind of thing. When I first heard that and I got that, I understood that map and what this slide shows you, I thought, yeah, baby, that means I've got time to get in. I've got time to build out my network. I've got time to intelligently work on this so that when Lioness does, it only took 12 years in Europe, right? And we've been here 3 years in the United States. When Lioness does hit big time, goes viral in the United States, I will have a network and I will benefit handsomely from that. Western part of the United States, I still need to kind of change that picture a little bit, don't I? Western part of the United States today, western part of North America today, Canada, that's Gloria's dog, by the way, who weighs all of 4 pounds.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We're very child and dog friendly here. Canada, the United States, Mexico, that's what it looks like today. Now, these aren't individual businesses. These are, if you get more granular, these will break out into other businesses in all fairness. But what I personally saw, and I think the vision that Gloria got, was, well, if Europe did that, I bet the United States is going to do that. I mean, we are the consumer spenders par excellence of the planet, right? So going from here to here. The only question in my mind when I understood this was, well, where's Lee going to be? Am I going to have enough sense to get in on this and make it happen, or am I just going to sit on the bench and watch everybody else play the game? Well, I thought, well, man, that's crazy. I'm going to get a piece of my pie. I'm going to get my slice of this. Folks, that is Lioness/Like-A-Net. It is everything from a way for consumers to save money and make a little money by getting their friends in on this, and that is really the core of the business. And if that's what you want to do, matter of fact, we suggest that you start there. That's what you want to do it. That's the way we started. But if you get the vision, if you think, okay, that's cool, now I can turn this into a large income. Now I can work and build a team. That's Like-A-Net. And Gloria and I are here to help you do that. So those of you on the webinar and people looking at the replay of the webinar, if this interests you, you need to get in touch with us and say, this is cool, I need more information. Or you can leave the this is cool part out. You could just say, I need more information. And we will be happy to send you information, get on the phone with you. This is not a hard sell type thing. We don't do that. I think you got the idea through the webinar that, oh, all they're doing is just telling me about this. And that's really all we're doing. Because it's such an amazing concept that that's really all we have to do. Once people see this and they understand this, they want to get in. So if you want to get in on this, let us know. Again, it's free to join, free to be a member of. Just hit us up. We'll be happy to talk to you about the next steps. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening and appreciate your time.
Bye, everybody.